has been your experience so far?
I'm very much excited. I just want to say thank you very much for having me. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here today. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, and we are the honored ones to have your presence, and especially because you're here to talk to us about something that is so critically human-centric, so fundamentally human at its heart. And I'd love to hear a little bit more, and please do tell the audience more about exactly what it is that you do with Al Walid Philanthropies and what the foundation itself does around the world.
So I'm the Secretary General of Al Walid Philanthropies. Al Walid Philanthropies is a foundation that works in almost 190 countries around the world. We work in 5 areas of focus. The first one is community development, goes under health, education, infrastructure, empowering women and youth, and we lean toward the creative economical empowerment. We do a lot of providing vital disaster relief. We bridge gaps between cultures and traditions, and also our new area of focus, which is promoting for a healthier environment, and my own, I would say, favorite area of focus, which is bridging gaps between, of course, culture, as I said.
That sounds amazing, and you talk about your personal focus and your favorite initiative,
Yes.
but there must be a reason why you do this. What is it that got you into this in the first place? Why do you care so much about ensuring that these projects are successful?
Listen, there is a lot of things that you do in life and you participate in to make your community better, to make your world better, even to make your family better. We believe that every step, even though it's a very small step, it counts. And our work, it's always, we don't do anything with our own hands, but we believe in collaboration with other partners. Our chairman, His Royal Highness Prince Al Walid, always say you don't have to have the knowledge about everything. وبالعربي دايما يقول اعطي الخبز الخبازة. ولكن what's required from us is strategy, articulating the need, and putting a very clear goals to achieve. So I'll give you a very small example. We've been working with the International Scouts Foundation for over 13 years now. And we've been very lucky, alhamdulillah, to introduce the Girl Scouts in Saudi Arabia, led by Princess Sama bint Faisal. And I know for some people, it's only volunteering. No, it's not. Of course, you know, the International Scouts, it's a full community. You're giving young girls the opportunity to become the future leaders. So I know it will sound maybe small for the other project that we're doing, but when you see the effect on those young girls and the effect on their communities, we did this affiliation with the Scouts in almost 6 universities around the kingdom, and it's been an amazing success, alhamdulillah.
I don't think anything is small when it touches one person's life.
Absolutely.
I think the way we measure is through the impact we make person to person to person, and it's such a refreshing thing to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Because the foundation's been going for more than 4 decades, is that right?
Yes.
Over 40 years?
This year it's the 45th anniversary.
I mean, that's absolutely extraordinary. And you said you had projects in more than 190 countries around the world. That is absolutely phenomenal.
We almost invested in humanity over $4.4 billion. With Saudi Riyal, I think it's 18 billion Saudi Riyals. And alhamdulillah, we reach over 1.2 billion beneficiaries. And I'm very pleased to tell you all of this happened and with a team of 10 Saudi ladies only. So I'm very proud of them.
You should be incredibly proud of them. That is an extraordinary achievement.
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit more in general terms about some of the foundation's guiding principles, some of the values that drives the work, some of those things that we can all be inspired by to find maybe that resonate with our own personal values and mission?
As I told you, we believe that if you want to do a maximum impact on communities, you have to collaborate. We do, this is one of our main beliefs in the foundation, is the collaboration with different entities that make you reach your goal, not in a fastest way, I would say the most accurate way, And you will make sure to ensure that you reach your target, and maybe in a lot of cases, we exceed the target as well.
Yeah.
So it's collaboration, because with all the amount of work and all the amount of actually the areas of focus we talked about, it will be very hard to run by one team. And it's also the vision, the expertise, and the techniques, the technicality as well.
I mean, collaboration is a topic that we've heard mentioned many times on this stage over the last few days, because creating allyships, creating partnerships seems to be one of those absolute tickets to success in everything that the people in this room are doing. And the Foundation has formed a number of very significant partnerships over the years. I've got here listed the Gates Foundation, UN Women, Habitat for Humanity. How do you go about, first of all, selecting your partners, evaluating them, and then how do you go about aligning your goals, their goals, to create a really effective collaboration?
So of course, it's we do our own homework. We have a loyal partners, I would say. UN Habitat is one of them. Yeah. There's a lot of UN entities or Habitat for Humanity, of course. We already worked with them, so you kind of ensure the result. But of course, we in the foundation, we have a formula. And this is, of course, the vision of His Royal Highness Prince Al Walid. We have to have a governmental entity from the country itself, and we have to have an international entity, a local NGO on ground, just to ensure that this is exactly what's needed for this community, because we never did a one-size-fits-all. We do respect each community to, study what it's needed exactly to empower this, this community, and of course, us. We be supervising. A very good example for this is our collaboration with Masr Al Khair. We have a very unique project with in Saudi Arabia with the ministry, of course. We provide 1,000 unit for the needy family. We duplicate this in Egypt as well with Masr Al Khair and the and the ministries there. And alhamdulillah, till date, we reached 8,000 units in Egypt, and I believe in Saudi Arabia as well.
I love the fact that you're talking about marrying and aligning local knowledge and expertise, so cultural, local, on-the-ground knowledge, with maybe expertise from external partners, with also regulatory alignment and all of those things. Because I'm going to try and say this, I've been practicing. You say, Yet wahada ma tsufik. Was that good or not? No one understood me. One hand can't clap. I thought it was Yet wahada ma tsufik. Is that not right? You're laughing at me now.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Come on, give it to me properly.
يد واحدة ما تصفق. Yes, you
I
get
mean,
it right.
It wasn't that far off. But this idea of one hand can't clap and creating unity. And how does that therefore translate into these successful projects? Because it's not just about ticking boxes to say, we have an NGO, we have a local, we have a, so talk to me about sort of the heart of these unified projects.
It's all about the calling. So we do a lot, as I said, we do a lot of housing all around the world with different criteria, aspect, causes. But I'll give you a very good example, which is the heart. When we started researching how we can support in Yemen, so we went to Siderby and UN Habitat, and we said, what can we do there? And it's also, it is the vision of His Royal Highness Prince Al Walid that it's the minimum for any person to feel his dignity is saved, I would say, to have a roof on top of his head. So we went and we did this collaboration with those two amazing partners. We benefit over 4,000 families in Yemen. And when we went there, we saw an urge to train the, youth in Yemen that we train that ends with jobs. So we affiliated with Education for Employment, and alhamdulillah, over 11,000 beneficiaries now have jobs in Yemen with, of course, a housing unit.
That's extraordinary. Those are amazing numbers, amazing numbers.
Yes.
That's an amazing achievement. And that's in Yemen, and you've mentioned some of these projects closer to home. Yeah. So can we just talk a little bit more about these 1,000 housing units that have been put in place in Saudi Arabia and that collaboration with Masr Al Khair? Did I say that right?
Misr al-Khair, it's the one
That's in Egypt, okay.
yes.
And then the one in
here
Saudi, can you tell us about that one again?
there is a need in Saudi Arabia to satisfy, of course, the needy family, and it was a really I would say it was one of satisfying project for me personally.
Tell me why.
Because at the end of the day, those people were it's not only putting roof on top of their heads. You know, when you feel secure and stable, you start thinking about building your life.
Yes.
You start thinking about your future, what you want to do for your family, how you can provide. But at the end of the day, you're not scared how you're going to pay the rent or how you're going to pay your mortgage.
Yeah.
You have a unit, it's set. So we decided, you know what, there's something else that we can do for those families. So we started providing 1,000 cars.
Oh my word.
With the units, yes, and almost 70% of them we did an affiliation with Careem. So we have almost every year, we have over 700 cars go to the beneficiaries. They can work together with Careem to, you know, deliver goods or, you know, or drive people around. Not only this, and we saw the need for the disabled people, the physically disabled people,
yes.
How we can make them a part of the community and how they can contribute to the economy as well and make them feel, you know, that they're still alive, I would say. So we created this initiative. We equipped cars that they don't actually drive it with their legs, with their hands. We have till date over 70 male captains in Careem, and we have almost 20 female captains as well.
An extraordinary success story, and also ties in beautifully with what Dr. Hala was talking about,
Absolutely.
Her Excellency, to do with the human right for housing, because that's where everything starts,
Absolutely.
building a life, mobility, getting out. And it sounds like you're really taking it
Yes.
to that next step.
Yes.
How many collaborative partners would you need for a project like that? I mean, you must have to partner with a huge number of different organizations
No, actually,
and companies.
It's us and the Ministry of Housing.
That's it?
Yes.
This is what you're doing
Yes.
within the foundation?
Yes, and the team, whether it's from the foundation or, of course, the ministry team is incredible, to be very honest.
That's absolutely phenomenal. It's a
Yes.
real accolade to your passion and the work that you and your team
Yes.
are doing, which is phenomenal. I understand that the foundation also has a really quite unique focus on integrating green jobs into the housing projects that you're particularly involved with, around sub-Saharan Africa as well. Can you talk a little bit, because we do discuss these issues at the forum, around, you know, your perspective on green building, on sustainable building, and how that needs and is playing a part in shaping the future of urban development?
So, as I mentioned before, that we do study each and every community, and even though housing project, it differs from a country to another. So we worked with one of our partners, which is the Nubian Vault. They took the concept of the Nubian houses in Egypt, which is a very hot all year long cities, how they build it, and we start implementing it in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa. So actually, we build those houses with the natural resources and it differs from a country to another, but we depend mainly, like over 80%, on the natural resources of the country. Not and again, as I told you, we always look to a creative empowerment, I would say, chances for us to support. So we started to train the masons to build their own homes. And a lot of business and a lot of entrepreneur was created in almost, I would say, 9 or 10 countries. And alhamdulillah, we have over 40,000 beneficiaries there. And but at the end of the day, and specifically this initiative, it doesn't only reflect on the community, it reflects on the environment. It gives a very good example that you always have a different options for you to support and to build those type of houses.
I love that idea that we always have options.
Yes.
Because sometimes I think we can feel a little bit stuck, we can feel a bit constrained, we can feel a bit as if it's too big a challenge, but it sounds like you've constantly found creative ways forward and creative solutions.
It's only if you have the mentality of search.
Yeah.
I'm a person who truly believes in data, so I do my homework, my team does their homework, and this is how we create and we approve projects all around the world.
Amazing. And it's therefore based on the facts, on the data, on the science, on the economics of a project, and looking at it holistically rather than, I suppose it would be quite easy to say, well, this is going to do the maximum amount of good in one area, maybe building houses, but it might have a negative impact on other things. So you're looking at this incredibly holistically.
That's very interesting because, of course, our chairman, he's one of the biggest businessmen in the world. And he always say, I'm investing in humanity. And he always say, you have an ROI. You come back with an ROI, $1, how it reflects on a human life.
And I love the fact that we can measure ROI in the impact on human life as much as in cold, hard cash that comes back into the organization. It's a really important message, Your Highness. I really like that. Can you tell us a little bit about Chekwas Mountain? Because I know that you are very passionate about projects. You lit up when I just mentioned it. But projects that are as much about preserving culture and integrating culture and heritage as about creating the solutions that you are so keen to bring about for the communities you serve. So please give us some insight into that.
We started actually supporting artisans in the 80s.
Wow.
When I first took the position, I'm very passionate about the crafts in general.
Yeah.
So I was very keen to understand what's the impact, where we reach. Since, you know, in the paper and the financial sheets, you've been supporting for that amount of time. So I thought that we're going to find like a humongous amount of achievement. But it was zero. And I was shocked because it was only training. You never provided them with jobs or connecting them with market or resources. So we only train for them to khalas. They get trained, they're good, they know how to do the pieces, and then you leave them. So we actually revisited the full project, and we decided, you know what, no, let's stop. And we affiliated with Chekwas Mountain on training that ends with a line, a product line.
How amazing.
So we started providing pieces for hotels, governmental entities, private entities, and alhamdulillah, we worked with Chekwas Mountain. It's not only in Saudi Arabia, we worked in Afghanistan, Myanmar, Palestine. And in Saudi Arabia, I think a lot of people present in here, maybe you are staying in the Four Seasons.
I was going to say, because there's a link with this property, with the brand, isn't there?
Exactly, and all the room accessories in the rooms, the artwork along the corridors, it's all done by our artisans. And we're launching our line in Harrods this summer, inshallah.
That deserves a massive round of applause. That's an incredible achievement. Please, let's just recognize that amazing achievement. Because I've been admiring the ceramic pieces in the rooms.
Ceramic pieces, leather, wood, different materials.
If you haven't had a chance to have a look at some of the artwork and some of the accessories in this property, and you're not staying here, maybe try and have a look online, because they are absolutely beautifully crafted pieces. And yeah, I'm incredibly impressed. And the fact that you're creating jobs beyond just upskilling makes all the difference for these people's lives.
Some of our ladies, some of our artisans ladies now, they created their own brands. We actually work with them as whenever we have a bigger order, so they're our go-to person just to support with us. So it's a very successful, cheerful project, I would say.
Oh, and it's tangible, which is so lovely. Yeah, and it does another thing which I know you're a huge advocate for, which is bridging some of the East-West cultural pieces. And the fact that you're going into Harrods is, fascinating there. Why is it that you care so much about sort of bridging the East-West cultural gaps?
Because I believe we've been always misunderstood, misportrayed. And I believe there's a lot of ways beside advocating. It's those type of pieces. It's a dialogue by itself.
Yes.
You would never fight over a piece of art. You would never. We may have different views, but we would never fight. I would be much interested to understand about you, and you would be much interested to know more about me if you like my pieces.
Yes.
So it's a way of a dialogue, but in a different way.
So using culture to
Definitely.
understand difference,
Yes.
to explore and debate rather than judge and create
Absolutely.
opinions. That's
Absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Paint us a picture for your vision of the future. I mean, you've got some big, ambitious plans. You've got all of these projects. I'm sure you have many, many more coming down the line. What would you like the next 5 years to look like for the foundation? Are there some things that we should be watching out for?
Actually, you know what, with all the technology happening around the world and the AI and all of this amazing things, I believe we have now, all the NGOs and NPOs have, I would say, the responsibility to prepare the youth from different levels in the community, how they can start digesting the concept of how technology gonna take over a big part of our life, and how they can contribute, or how they're going to use this for a greater good. Because, as you know, there is a lot of, jobs, it's going to be like vanished in a way or another.
Yeah.
So you need to prep those level, how they can make a living from the technology, or how they can use it for their own good, and for their families, of course. I would say this is very important to watch for.
You're a true trailblazer. I mean, an extraordinary figurehead for bringing about change. So do you have a final message for this audience when it comes to, I guess, something that they are all trying to do, which is create more inclusive, more sustainable communities that have human centricity baked into them? Is this something that we all need to be doing differently, that we can learn from or be inspired from the way you've approached your projects?
Everyone in this room and the world have a passion, a certain passion, whatever it is, whether it's, providing, you give your time to teach kids, or you build something, you donate something. Whatever you want to do not underestimate, even though if it's a very small thing. If you just smile in another person's face, you don't know what this will do to that person. Also, nowadays, it's not that hard to donate on the line of passion that you want to have an impact in. It's very easy with technology. It's only one click away in your mobile, and you can donate, you can participate, you can collaborate. So it's just be open, and it's always look more than the territory you're in. There's a lot of things that you can even transfer knowledge that will, believe me, not create a big difference. It can save people around the world.
Wow, so we're now in the business of saving lives, and I think that's a wonderful note to end on. Thank you so much. And if you don't know about the foundation and the work that it's doing, will you please go and explore it and investigate it and research it, because it is truly inspirational. Your Royal Highness, Princess Lamia, I am so honored to have had the chance to chat with you today. Thank you for sharing and inspiring and challenging us all to do more of what we're passionate about and to save some more lives.
Perfect.